Hello there. My name is Miss Linda, and I would like to welcome you to Storytime with Miss Linda. Today I would like to share with you a story that I wrote several years ago. It's called The Chosen Tree. This story begins a very, very long time ago. It was a beautiful day in the forest, and something special was about to happen. Mr. and Mrs. Tree were expecting their first seedling to be born. All the trees were waiting and watching for the little one to arrive. It was so quiet you could hear a pine needle drop. The dirt was beginning to move around the little one's bed. As the sun's light beam was shining on the bed like a spotlight, the warmth was causing the little seedling to wake up and stretch. "Look," whispered Miss Tree. There was his first branch, reaching up, stretching towards the sky. Then the next one came, both so perfect in form. Tears of joy came from Mr. and Mrs. Tree, just the right amount to wash the dirt from his little branches. "Oh," sighed the trees, "he is the most beautiful tree in the forest." Mr. and Mrs. Tree were so happy. They knew their little seedling would grow up to be used for something very special. Days and months went by, and the little seedling grew stronger and taller. He was so much stronger and taller than all the other seedlings in the woods. The other seedlings began to make jokes about him and tease him. But little seedlings didn't let that bother him. He knew he was just right for whatever purpose would be. As the seasons rolled by and the seedlings were grown, each of them were being chosen for special purposes. Cousin Oak had been chosen to become a wonderful new rocker for the farmer on the hill. Friend Fir just left to join the others chosen for a new house being built. One after another, the trees left the forest to become something special. Their families were so proud of them. Season after season, Mr. and Mrs. Tree waited for the news that their beautiful sun tree had been chosen. They waited and waited. He grew and grew, stronger and taller than all the rest, yet he was never chosen. Most families would have become discouraged and maybe a little embarrassed, but not the Tree family. They knew God had created this healthy, strong tree for a special reason, and not to give up, just believe. The years passed, and there was lots of talk in the forest that the Tree family were getting very old, and Sun Tree was getting mighty rugged. Still, the Tree family stood tall, knowing they had purpose. They would whistle happy tunes while waving their branches back and forth in the wind. When storms would come, they would help protect the smaller trees. They were very strong and noble trees, yet very humble. Bird families used their branches to build their nests in. Rabbits loved to nestle in the fallen leaves below. Squirrels would run up and down the trunks and across their branches. This would make the Tree family giggle and laugh as it tickled. It was a wonderful forest to live in. The seasons went by. After a beautiful fall and chilly winter, spring had arrived. There was news that a king would be needing a very special tree soon. The word passed through the forest quickly, and every tree was getting prepared to be chosen. The Tree family heard the news too, but they were busy taking care of their new little seedlings. They carefully watched over them and protected them from the storms so they could grow strong and beautiful. The following week, some men came into the forest. They seemed very sad and spoke very few words. The little seedlings were frightened, but Mr. and Mrs. Tree comforted them. "What do the big men want?" they asked. Sun Tree explained they come often to choose a tree from the forest for a special purpose. He too was curious why the men were not joyful and happy. They usually were so excited to come into the forest, but today was different. There was a heavy burden on them, and they were not happy to be taking a tree from the forest today. Suddenly, after all these years, and to all the trees' surprise, they chose one of the tree family. Sun Tree knew it was his turn to fulfill his purpose. Saying goodbye to Mother and Father Tree, he stood tall yet humble, for he knew that he was being chosen for a very reverent time. As the men approached the tree family, one spoke and said, Here is the one. This old rugged one will do." Soon they took Sun Tree from the forest. Tree family waved to their son with deepest love, for they knew this was his time. He had been chosen for the most important purpose any tree could have. He would be remembered forever after serving his purpose. There was a hush in the forest for hours. No movement from the trees, no scampering from the animals, and no singing from the birds. All were reverently quiet and still. Sun Tree was being carried by a stranger they called the King of the Jews. The king was hurting and weak from his wounds, so someone came to help him carry the cross. That was the new name they had given Sun Tree. They took him to a hill far away and stood him up that old rugged cross. They nailed this king upon him and crucified him on Sun Tree. After what seemed forever, he heard people come and quietly approach to take the king down from the cross. Sun Tree knew he had completed his purpose and would forever stand for a symbol of peace, love, and forgiveness. He was now known as the Cross of Jesus. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you again. Bye now.